Obi-Wan and Anakin embrace before the game. Figure it out. Warriors obviously severely undermanned, missing 3 All-Stars. How about 4? Take another look at this. Danny Green driving to the rim, clips Draymond Green in the pelvic bone with his knee, and that would end Draymond's night in the second quarter. Draymond always puts the clampers on LaMarcus Aldridge, so with him out of the game, LA absolutely went to work. And what was a must-win game for the Spurs heading down the stretch here, finding themselves on the outside looking in, depending on the night, Aldridge doing work. So who would step up for Golden State? The chef may not have been in the building, but there was a cook. Quinn hits the 3-ball off the pick and roll. Man had another 20-point performance. JaVale Seals, mouse in the house, 2 hands at the rim. But if Swaggy's on the floor for 40 minutes, let's face it, you're probably in some trouble. He hits the jumper there, but it wasn't nearly enough. And whenever Aldridge drives right, you know it's going to be the scooping hook shot. This time it's +1. Not quite the same spacing on the floor for you, D West, with those passes. Here they go out in transition, and the old man is helpless. Touch passing all the way down the court like a drill. More Aldridge this time. You spin back, right shoulder, it's the fade. JaVale catches it, and San Antonio rolls here in the fourth quarter on a 28-12 run and gets a much-needed win. All right, man, I was a little... I went into a little bit of a panic mode. I'm not going to lie to you. All these other injuries, because at the time of them and just how they were announced, like I said, I've already covered them, and my alert level and my worry level was not that high with Clay's, Steph's, or Durant's. Even Steph's, it just didn't appear to be that serious. But when Draymond went out and you saw him try to play through it for a little bit, and then eventually they called a timeout and he went to the locker room, and what really worried me and what flashed through my mind was a sports hernia. Now, clearly he took like a shot to the groin. Draymond's, anybody who's played sports at the youth level, let alone the pro level, has taken a shot to the groin, and there's like a delayed reaction, right? It doesn't hurt right away, and then you sink down and you get a little sick in your gut, but you can play it off. You may have to sit, but you can always come back. Once the pain's gone, it's kind of gone. Could be tender, but pause, right? But, you know, for him to miss to say he would not return, the immediate thing that came to mind was a sports hernia. And I've had one of them before, not serious, but what they are is it's basically a strain in your lower abs from like changing direction to, you know, drastically or overextending and reaching and stretching your abdominal wall too much. And those, for those of you that don't know, they're just troubling. They're very hard to treat. They're like a hamstring. You can't really gauge when you're healthy, and they don't heal well or right. And so when that happened, I was kind of salty. I was just in a grumpy ass mood as he headed to the locker room. But Quinn Cook came in and absolutely balled, man. And you know, I think it's over. It's over. Omri, you can pack your bags, man. And I don't say that derogatory towards Omri. I know he's a great dude, and I don't really blame him. I've said this several times. He's one of those players where his body has just betrayed him. Omri Caspi he never really had whenever he would find a rhythm, he'd get hurt. And it's been the story of his career. And now it would be selfish of the Warriors front office to keep Omri Caspi because they're in their feelings or they feel some type of way about Omri Caspi, because this window isn't open forever. This championship window is right now, and they need to do what's best for the championship and for the team, and that's keep Quinn Cook clearly. Coming off the screens, I talked about him being a scorer, right? He's not really looking to pass off those screens, and clearly he shouldn't be. He you know what he looks like? He looks like when Chris Paul used to go into scoring mode. Right now, he's changed his game as he's gotten older and playing with Harden. But the way he can fire off a screen in the mid-range and kind of hit those fadeaways and just those no-man land jumpers, it's just absolutely money, and he has range out to 3. Very physical. I think the thing I want to see moving forward is, now this has been a few good games in a row, but towards the end of this game here, you saw him hanging his head. He didn't get the calls he wanted down the stretch. He went to the basket, took some tough non-calls and hit the ground, and he was hanging his head. So I want to see what his rebound confidence level is, because everybody, when shit's going good and you're hot and things are well, and he was hot for the most part in this game, but when you start to miss a few and things don't go your way, how unflackable are you? Can you still sustain that high level of confidence that you need to be in the NBA and be an effective scorer like he's shown? So I'm impressed with Quinn Cook, and I think the debate's over. Obviously, who cares what I say, right? It's not up to me. But I think it's clear you got to keep him. He's earned the spot. And I've heard the argument, oh, the guys love Omri and he's taken less to be with the team. I think you'd honestly hurt the morale of the team more if you cut Quinn Cook and kept Omri. I think the guys in the back of their minds would be like, man, I love Caspi, but, so that's where I stand with that. The real one bone I have to pick with the team and in this effort here, I didn't expect to win. So I'm not upset about the win or the loss. I thought they brought it for the most part, except for old Swaggy P, Saggy P, Slacky P, whatever it is, man. I'm really tired of the bullshit, Swaggy. I'm really tired of it, Nicholas. Like he is a limp body out there. Nick Young could play 48 minutes every game and not get tired. Think about that for a second. That just lets you know the effort level that he puts out on the floor. I mentioned this in my vlog in the Suns game. The one thing that stuck out to me watching this team live was what a limp body Nick Young was off the ball. The ball's not in his hands. There's just the effort level. I wouldn't even put it at 50. It's probably more around 35, and that's being generous. And when it comes to playoff basketball, I just don't trust him in the moment. He's never shown me the ability to get into that third gear. He's just stuck in neutral. He just floats around, and I just can't fuck with it. I'm done with Nick Young. And hey, hopefully I'm wrong. Maybe he'll go off, but nah. I don't trust him moving forward in the playoffs. That's problematic. So that's why it was good to see Patrick McCaw come back in this game. Now, offensively, he didn't do much, but defensively, he looked freaking good, man. And part of the run that the Warriors went on that got back in this game with he and Bell on the floor, we just missed his perimeter defense and his speed and athleticism. Had a real nice block from behind using that previously injured hand, I believe. So it was good to see McCaw back, and that will help alleviate the loss of Caspi that's coming. But Nick Young, man, and the other thing, so Nick Young didn't show up to play. And then the other thing was David West. Since he's come back from the cyst, he just hasn't had his legs under him. And I'm not blaming him. I'm not giving up on D West. It's going to take more time. That's the thing. When you're David West's age, when you go out for even a week or two like he has been, it takes longer for you to refine your rhythm and refine the juice in your legs. That's the cost of age and father time. But he, being a vet and being a pro's pro, I really don't have any doubt by the time the playoffs roll around, he will find it again. But we were lacking his scoring punch. Nick Young gave us nothing, right? Quinn Cook couldn't do it all. And then with Draymond going out, you couldn't really expect them to win this game. And then you compound that with the fact that San Antonio's damn near in desperation mode. They're damn near in desperation mode. So all those things combined, I think the outcome was pretty obvious, right? But moving forward, for this, what's that weekend song? I might not make it. I might. That's the song that they should be playing that in Texas right now because they might not make it, man. And a hot take I had, I think it was on a live one. I think we've seen the last of Kawhi Leonard in a San Antonio Spurs jersey. I think he's not. I don't think he's coming back. We've heard all the back and forth. His doctors, their doctors. At this point, it's too late. And in the summer, you're going to see these two part ways. This week is weird. They have, thank God, because, the Draymond pelvic contusion, right? That's what they're listing it. Now, if it's a contusion, that's fine. So as far as I know, that's a rare injury, but as long as it's like a bruise or something that's just a lump, as long as it's not a strain or a stretch within the groin or the abdomen wall, that's something that can linger. But if it's a contusion, I'm guessing it'll just be a day-to-day thing. They don't play till Friday, and they play the Hawks. So really, they don't play till Monday. That's the Jazz, and the Jazz are a hot team, a hungry team looking for a playoff spot. So that's going to be another tough game. But until then, hit that like, share, and subscribe. I'm out, y'all.